Okay, there I am. My other screen was glitching, and the whole time I couldn't hear anything. And so you didn't see it, but I was in a mild panic. But that mild panic is quickly subsiding. Welcome, Fang Fam. As always, it is such a pleasure to have you all here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes, okay. I heard there's no audio, but it's here now. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. As always, I'm Boser. Thank you for being here, you guys. This is your Monday Night Geek Out Sesh. We do this each and every Monday with a brand new, amazing guest. And maybe they're not always brand new. Maybe it's their third time, as is the case tonight with the Vampire Jack Townsen. And of course, he always brings his harem of vampires with him. I am so excited to have you guys. I can't even keep up with the chat. This is the one time in a quarter that I can't keep up with the chat. But shout out if you're here. I see Beetle Player, Heroes of Evermore, Fate Moles 4 Dread, Nymph Witch, Symphonica, Crizzy, the Vampire something. It always cuts off. I get like 10 characters and then ... But you guys, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being here to support Jack, which is the most important thing. I always love when my guests have a full community behind them right there in the chat, because that makes the conversation all the more fun. And I knew you were going to be here. So I kind of crafted my questions a little bit. I put myself in your shoes and thought, what are kind of questions that maybe the Fang Fam doesn't often get to ask and that we can talk at length tonight. So get ready. But if this is your first time to FGBG, 4 Geeks by Geeks, welcome. This is the place where geeks come to geek out. And we just want to be that community where you can geek out about anime, cosplay, writing, all the geeky shit, the best things on the internet. And maybe you don't have a place to do that. Not everybody has a Fang Fam Discord like you guys do. So you can always join the FGBG Discord, or you can tune in here and geek out with us. We'll be that call at 3 a.m. Then you just finished your favorite anime and are sobbing, and there's no one there to comfort you. I may not know everything, but I know that I'm here for you. So thanks for being here, you guys. A couple of announcements. We are back on Wednesdays. T always streams on Wednesdays. He's been doing some fun things. He just did Betrayal on the House of the Hill. They did some board games. So if you like more of that kind of thing, tune in on Wednesday. He also did T Paints, where he paints minis and chats and just our chance to get to know you and vibe. And then we used to air our ongoing Cloudscape episodes on Thursdays, but we have since just moved to uploading those on YouTube and podcast on Saturdays. And we just unveiled our latest episodes. If you are tuning in to those, you did notice that 21 was forever lost in technical difficulties, eaten by that beast, the bane of this channel. But I tried to make it up to you by dressing like a wizened old wizard and regaling you with the story of what happened in the last episode 21. So go check that out. And then 22 you can jump right into. But I've been having a lot of fun with that show and that homebrew, my first homebrew. So if you like TTRPGs and stories and urban fantasy, which I know you do, then go check that out. But I know you didn't hear me or come to hear me flatten my jaws. You came for Vladdy Daddy himself. We were just chatting before stream and just like showering each other with compliments. The fact this man has anything complimentary to say at all about me, not to say that his heart is most complimentary, but just the fact that he enjoys the show enough to come back 3 times means so much. And I know that this is going to be one for the ages. I can't wait to jump into his book. If you haven't had your copy, go ahead and use command Vampire. Grab it tonight. And then also while you're there, use command QOTD, which is the question of the day. And I kind of have a feeling I know where the answer is going to be in the chat tonight. But the question is, would you rather remain a free normie or become an immortal vampire enslaved to Jack Townsen? Let me know. Just fire away, Jack Townsen, Jack Townsen, Jack Townsen, Jack Townsen. You guys are the most loving and devoted group that we ever have here in the chat, and I'm thrilled to have you take a seat, grab something to drink, because we already discussed we're getting real tonight, y'all. Yes, Vampire. Yes, Shane, the bromance is so real. I am gutted that we don't live closer, that we can bring this bromance to life over some whiskey on a regular basis. But I'm already a couple glasses in because I want to get real with y'all tonight. I want to pick Jack's brain, and I just want to have the night of my life, which I always do. So without further ado, please give it up for the king of Vamp Talk himself, our Vladdy Daddy, the vampire, Jack motherfucking Townsen.
Hey guys!
Yes! Yes! I'm glad that we could start on the growl.
I had to start on the growl. Absolutely. Oh my god, I keep hitting this. Yeah.
Jackie, my guy.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me back. I missed you.
Dude, whenever you let us know that you have something new, which you did, you said, hey, I got this book. I'd love to talk about it. I said, bet. When?
I am so appreciative. Thank you very much for having me. I love you guys here. You guys are amazing.
It's purely selfish at this point. I just like hanging out with you. You're such good vibes and such good energy. Even through a screen. I don't know that I'd be fully prepared to have this energy inches away.
It's a time. It's definitely a time.
But everybody is asking, did I practice my growl?
Did you?
Anybody that was here for episode 1 with Jack Townsen, you can go back and watch, but I did my very best. And I think I had been practicing, because you and I had spoken a few months ago. I was in a production of Beauty and the Beast, and I played the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to find the grovel. So just go ahead and flame me in the chat now, but here's my best.
Let's go. You got it. Yeah!
Better?
Great! I loved it!
It's no Jack Townsen, but it's Baby Boser, and I'll take it.
It's great, though! It is great. Hype up Boser. That was amazing.
Excellent. You did great. Thank you. Okay, so this is a redundant question, but for anyone that doesn't know who you are or what you do that's here in the chat, tell us a little bit about what you got going on and who the Vampire Jack Townsen is.
Hi, guys. How are you doing? I'm the Vampire Jack Townsen. I am the Vampire King of Vamp Talk. But on top of being TikTok's Vampire King, I'm also an independent filmmaker, an award-winning independent filmmaker, a best-selling author. I'm a professional musician. I am a sponsored and promoted male model, and I am a creator and artist.
Everything.
I do
Just everything.
Do everything. If it's vampire related, I'm doing it. Pretty much.
And the thing is, like, you can list all of those qualities, and not that anybody that does those things isn't. I'm gonna sound like a real asshole. I'm trying to find the way of not sounding like an asshole. Not against you, but
say it anyway.
But we all know those douchebags. You're like, oh yeah, I'm an artist, I'm a model, I'm a writer, and maybe they like dabble. But when you dabble, the world fucking takes notice. And like you said, award-winning, signed model. Like, you are doing it. You don't just do these things because you claim to do. You actually do them, and you do it with your full chest.
Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot.
A jack of all trades. That's funny.
Thank you very. That means so much to me. Thank you so much. Seriously.
And it's all good. That's the thing. It's all good. It's not fair. It's not fair.
You know, it's. I waited a really long time to be able to do this and to be able to hold my skills for a really long time, and I'm finally able to kind of show the world what I can do. It just so happens to be that in my own kind of isolation that I just worked on everything, and now here we are.
So let's get deep right away, if you don't mind.
Let's go. Oh, let's go.
Because
Yes.
you just mentioned, you said that you waited a really long time to really own what you were doing and share that. So can you explain what caused you to wait, and then what stopped and caused you to actually share who you were?
Absolutely. You know me, I'll always go deep there. In my life, I did not have like a lot of support. Like, I didn't have a lot of support. I was not blessed with very high social standing, so I didn't have many friends. I was very much just a geek and a nerd, and a living vampire, which is something we've talked about. Just kind of on my own. I didn't have many people boosting me, and most of the time it was the opposite. It was people kind of holding me back, holding me down, telling me I can't do this, you can't do that, you can't sing, you're not good looking, you can't act, all these things. So in the background, while these things were going on, I was honing my skills, honing my craft. I would spend 4 hours, 5 hours practicing music. I would write poetry. I specifically remember in high school, I was in a what is it called? Like a after school program. And to get through it, I actually gave the teacher a stack of 100 poems. I said, if you'll pass me, I'll give you these. And I went back, and he passed me, and he had A's on each of the poems. And but nobody really knew about this because I was so scared for people to see me because of the things that I was told, because of the people that held me down, as well as my own fear. So within this especially last two-year window, when I finally was able to be free and finally able to kind of show who I am, embrace myself fully, that's when I was like, you know what? I need to treat these 2 years. I need to treat these years going forward like they have been the whole rest of my life, the beginning of my life. That this is my time to finally show who I am, make up for all of that lost time. So.
And I can't believe that you've had this meteoric rise in only 2 years. And I love that it was because you said, no, this is who I am. I'm going to share it. And I have to commend you, because how many people in life get stomped on, and knowing that they have a gift, they have something to share, but they get stomped on to the point that they are convinced that they do not have that gift. But something in you kept working and kept sharing and kept honing those skills even without the support. And that's huge, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was hard, because I would constantly look in the mirror and I would tell myself all these things, and but luckily I am a huge mental health advocate, and I've been in therapy my whole life. Like I said, I'm transparent as hell. Therapy was the majority of my life. Cannot recommend therapy enough. But because of the help that I was able to seek out, as well as was given to me, because not everyone can afford, to get therapy, I was able to
Unfortunately, America.
Come on, seriously. I was very lucky enough to learn the tools to kind of get through all of that and continue to rise through my own anguish and my own doubt to become the person that I am today.
So for the people that might be in the chat or watching back later, maybe they're struggling with that very same thing, but they haven't had the tools.
Yeah.
What were you telling yourself, or what were you doing during those days that you were struggling that helped keep pulling you forward?
Oh my goodness. I guess the things that I would tell myself, like on top of learning, like it wasn't even just what I would tell myself. It was just my love of the things that I do. That it wasn't just like, I know I need to do this. It was also, I have fun doing what I do. So I would do it for fun. I would make my art for fun, and try to kind of like be better. But the biggest things that help me, I will say right now, are exercise, keeping a healthy diet. Like these are, I'm not even kidding. These help me so much.
Write these down, people. Write these down.
Meditation is massive. Meditation, find some form of spirituality or something to believe in or something to kind of work with. You know, you can be whatever you subscribe to. And honestly, making sure that you look in the mirror, and every day, as hard as it is, as difficult or as much as you might not like what you see, or in your mind, you might tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not good looking, I'm not this. You look in your eyes and you say, I'm enough, I am beautiful, I can do this. Self-love is the most important thing, and it is so underrated. Because once you can start to kind of like convince yourself that you are enough and that you deserve respect and you deserve the things that you want in life and that you can have them, that's when the universe goes, I got you. We're going to be okay.
When you start believing you are enough, then everyone else will notice that truth.
Yeah. Confidence in everything. And that's how you start to have confidence. Because self-love, without self-love, of course, you're not going to have that confidence. But the moment you start walking a little straighter, the moment you start speaking with a little more intention, people immediately, you start living your truth, people immediately go, oh, well, if you have this, like, oh, there's something to it. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I didn't see you that way before. And it spreads into every area of life. It really does.
It really does. I'm a product of this as well. Early on in my life, I had zero confidence. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I should be. I didn't fit in with anyone. I felt like I was bad at everything. I didn't have anything to be proud of, I felt like. But through the theater, in fact, early on when I finally got to be on stage, then I saw my gift of being this quirky, weird dude as a gift instead of a detriment. And it was at that same time that I finally let my mother's words sink in, which is every day you decide whether it's going to be a good day or not. Doesn't matter what happens to you. Bad things will happen, but it's your choice to have a good day. And so I started waking up thinking today's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. And
it's words. Oh my God.
So strange that the positive attention that I got for the first time in my life, and it's carried me through ever since. It's amazing.
That is great. That's an amazing way. I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm going to use that from now on. To wake up every day and feel like today's going to be a great day.
Yeah, because it is a good day. It's bad things happen, but that doesn't change whether it's a great day or not.
That's true. Exactly. Hit the nail on the head.
But I mean, we're saying the same thing, just in different ways, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think at the same time, it all comes down to intention. It's almost like manifestation. You know what I mean? You're manifesting. You're saying, today's going to be a good day, and you're making it reality. You are controlling your own reality in that way. It's pretty interesting.
And it's your life. Why shouldn't you control your reality?
Exactly.
So in 2 years, you created this massive following through your web series. You created amazing heavy metal rock. You created a book of poetry. You are a part of TV series. Like I want to check in on that, by the way, at the end. And now you've just released your first urban fantasy novel surrounding the character Jack Townsen. There she is.
Yeah. Yes.
Before we even get into the book, like knowing that you've done all these things in 2 years, like, do you ever pinch yourself? Like, do you ever think like, okay, but like, when's it going to end?
Every day. No, seriously. People see me all the time and they're like, oh, the, swagger, and he's so confident. I wake up almost every single day and I think of it as if it was almost like 3-4 years ago. And I wake up in my bed and I'm like, wait, is this real? Like, I'm not kidding. I go, wait, this is real, right? Like, and I'll have
in the Matrix
plenty of moments where I'll be like so afraid that it's going to end, or so afraid that I'm going to be alone again, or any of these things. Absolutely. So I'm constantly pinching myself like I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in the entire world. I cannot believe where I am. So yeah, it is never lost on me. Never. I am so freaking happy. I'm so lucky.
But it's not magic. It's not on accident.
Yeah.
Like I tell people all the time, I respect Jack Townsend's grind so hard because this man and Shane, you guys never stop. Like
No.
I don't know where you find the energy. I don't know where you find the motivation. Sometimes if I'd make one video in a day, I'm like, great, check it off. I'm done. That's all I have. But no, you never stop.
You know, it's I think the way that it really started for me at least, right? Because I can speak on my end. I
Mhm.
could say that in the beginning, right, I was so hungry. And I'm always so hungry, but in the beginning especially, I was so hungry to finally show people this is what I can do. But also to just do it because I couldn't before. I wasn't able to, I wasn't allowed to. I
Sure.
didn't have the tools of the support. So when I went into it, it was like the idea of repetition, right? It was just doing it. And like when I first started, I was terrified. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, what if people hate what I'm doing? What if people are like not into it and I get laughed off the app or I get laughed off of this place or this place? And I was like, no. You got this. Just do
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
Whatever,
Shut up.
Shut up. Just put it out there. Whatever happens, happens. And I was so shocked when people loved what I was doing. But it was like on the words of repetition, when I started, I dedicated myself every single day at the beginning, 6 to 12 videos a day. It was 6 to 12 videos a day to start. I went hard in the paint at the beginning. So that way, over time, I could not go that hard and eventually branch out.
Lay the foundation.
It really did lay a foundation. It really did create kind of like the frame to be like, okay, well, this works here and this works here. I was able to see what people enjoyed, what people weren't as into, and I could really start to kind of like pick it apart. Do I recommend that everyone goes that hard in the paint in the beginning? No. I think that everybody is different. I think we all go at our own paces. But for me at that time, it really did allow me to kind of like figure out like what worked and what didn't. And it really did kind of sate, or at least kind of like kind of help that hunger that I had so bad for so long.
Mhm.
To where now where I am, like I can finally take a day to kind of like play a video game. Or I can
Wow.
go somewhere and do something that isn't work related. But I guess we just also just love what we do. We have so much fun. We have such an amazing reaction from the fans and the friends and the creators and the community that it's fuel. It really does build us up so that we can make all this stuff. You know, the energy that we get is from them. They, ironically or unironically, are the ones that are fueling us. So,
And I think
you guys,
it's a huge testament to the Fang fam, but also I think what you're doing is working because so many people have the same meteoric rise on these platforms, but it's almost all of their rocket fuel is solely from the reactions they get. When
absolutely.
you created your own fuel at first. And so even if the comments run out one day, I know that you're still going to move forward because you've still got that drive and that hunger, like you said.
Well, that's what it needs to be. That's
Yeah.
really what it has to be. Like, it doesn't
Has
matter
to.
who's watching you. It doesn't matter if you have a big fan base. The word's out. It's gonna be silly, but it's true. If you build it, they will come. You will find people that vibe with you. You will find people that like what you're making, like what you're doing. They will fuck with you. That is how that works. You just have to put it out there. It just has to live. If it's in you, or your passion, or whatever it is you do, you got to just let it live. And when it lives, people will flock to it eventually. It might not be a lot of people at first, but you will find that audience.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why we are like same souls, because that's exactly what we believe here at 4 Geeks by Geeks. Like,
Exactly.
don't hide your geekdom. Geeked out loud, and you won't be alone. People will flock to you, but you have to geek out loud first.
Exactly. It has to be. And no matter how scary it is, you just have to do it. You have to have that bravery. You have to really go deep, dig deep, and just put it out there, as scary as it is. You know? And you might, and I'm not going to also like lie, you might get some trolls, you might get some haters. However,
it's a sign of health, honestly.
It's just, exactly. It's also just a sign of you're doing something right. Haters are always going to be a sign of you doing something correct, because people will usually hate what they cannot do.
Right. And they're like, why does he deserve this? And
Yeah.
you are deserving of it because of all the time that you spent, the self-investment, the work. Like, this man deserves every beautiful thing that is blowing up in the chat that I can't even keep up with. By the way, thank you all for all those bits. Like, all your love is just falling onto me and I'm being showered in it. Thank you so much. It really means a lot that all of you are here. But I've got a lot of questions about this book. So first, if anybody is coming for the first time, not already picked up your copy, which why the hell not? Use Command Vampire or see the links below. Tell us, what's the premise of the Jack Townsen novel?
So, the premise of the Vampire Jack Townson novel, especially the novel, because we're not in the web series, we are following the character of James Donovan. He's a 26-year-old man. He's down on his luck, which is something we can all relate to. He's someone that fumbles and fails and stumbles through life. He was handed a very hard card. He lost. He knew loss from a very early age. He has to take care of his little sister, his 21-year-old sister, and make sure that she is all right. He is the sole financial provider of his household, takes care of everyone else except for him. So on a very specific and very significant day where he actually encounters a very unfortunate situation, to get some space, he stumbles his way into Manhattan, into New York City. Once there, he comes upon this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The once-in-a-lifetime audition. Something with a chance of fame, fortune, money, women, men. And it's all held by this savant, this incredibly beautiful man, Alexander Lamont. But what James doesn't know is that Alexander is actually a vampire, and that meeting Alexander will flip his life completely upside down.
I'm interested. No, this is exactly the kind of book that, like, I like to travel, and this is the one that I want to sit by a pool and just soak in.
It is a thrill. There is a reason why it is a thriller, a suspense novel, but it also has romance, spice. It has intense, gratuitous gore and violence. It does not pull any punches. It does not hold back in the slightest. But it is also a book about transforming and rising through your trauma to become the person that you possibly can become.
So there's an inspiring message as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is for sure.
I mean, you wrote it, so.
I mean, you know, it's a coming of age story in a vampire novel. It really is, and it's just the beginning.
So there's meant to be more to the series?
Yes, it is God, at this point, it is for the main story, not counting side stories and exploring different characters and their backgrounds. For the main story, it is a 9 to 12 book series. It is a it's a massive story where you follow Jack through not only just New York, but also where he eventually ends up, which is Draconia, which is this world beyond our world where he rests his crown and he rules as one of the Lords of Night. Yeah, it's wild.
Yay, I'm reading it tomorrow. Actually, let's just cut the stream. I gotta read this thing right now.
Oh, it's a wild ride. It definitely is.
Were there any parts, because a lot of times writers would lean into romance or thriller or gratuitous gore. Um, did you struggle writing any parts of those like more than others?
I would say I didn't struggle. I would say the only thing that I struggled in the most, and I think most writers will agree, is traversing from place to place. Like romance, I got. Spice, I got. Violence, I got. Drama pieces, comedy, I have. But the hardest thing about being a writer, of being an author, in my opinion, is having your characters go from one place to another. Because that's when you stop and you're like, how the fuck are they? How are they getting there? Like, okay, what do they have? Where? How do they have to get there? Where do they go? You know, what's their method of transportation? It's a lot more detailed than it sounds, honestly.
And you have to color every bit of those details.
Yes. So you,
like,
yeah, it's
even in a TTRPG sense, like with our homebrew, like my character's like, okay, so we're gonna go there. And my question is, how do you get there? And the nice thing is, you're gonna tell me how you get there. I don't have to decide. But
exactly.
When you're writing it, it's all you. Interesting. All the things I would not think that is the thing you struggle with, but that's interesting.
Exactly. It's that, you know, especially like New York City, right? The setting is New York City. So it's not like Draconia. It's not this huge dark fantasy wonderland, right? Or Neverland. It's a real place. So I have to stop and I have to be like, okay, well, what's here and what is here and where are they exactly in real life? So that was a piece of like something I actually had to research and kind of figure out and, you know, understand like where they were geographically.
Yeah. And New York is not like an unknown land that you can just make shit up about. Like you have to be correct.
It's a very known place. It's a very famous known place. So it's like,
ever heard of it?
Where do they go now? Like, how do they get there exactly? And what do they see on their way? And what are they feeling while they're traveling? And like, what directions, what twists and turns? And that was probably, in my opinion, the most detailed and kind of where I would stop and I'd be like, shit. They're like, oh, I'll come back to this tomorrow. Oh, fuck. Oh, I gotta think about this.
This is a future Jack problem. This is not today Jack problem.
Exactly.
So then how does this book fit in with the web series? Because that's all kind of following the same Vampire Jack Townsen.
Perfect. So the idea of the first book is we're not like chronologically in the past. So the book begins, and spoiler, not really, honestly, because it's a prologue. You're actually sitting down with Jack in Draconia already. You are sitting there in a place and time, and Jack, everyone is crowded around a little fire, or whoever's there, and Jack is like, I have this book. It's my journal. I've been writing kind of like my memoirs. I want to read it to you so you can understand me better. Unraveling the mysteries together of my life. So he sits down and starts to read. So you are already technically in Draconia. It is just that Jack is reading you a story. And yeah. So in the web series where it fits is nice and snug somewhere in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. But then we meet. Will we eventually catch up to the web series in those 9 to 12 novels?
Absolutely. Way sooner than you think. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we'll be able to read stories within the web series.
So
and maybe beyond?
Yeah, all these questions that people have had when it comes to the web series, because when it comes to the web series, it can be really difficult because you're working with like other creators and you're doing duet videos and doing things like that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those things can be lost to other people's accounts and, et cetera, et cetera. But this is going to allow all those questions people have had to be answered. But the funnest part, the most fun part, hands down, is the fact that all of these moments that people have seen and helped shape and help create in the web series will be actually in the series. They will see situations and scenarios that they've watched on screen fully play out so they can be in it and understand exactly what's going on. That I'm so honored and so excited to be able to finally show people the inner machinations and the backgrounds of things that are happening and things they've lived and seen.
Yeah, like you get a glimpse of this story from the web series, but This, it's almost like the director's cut, and you get to see what's actually happening on the ground before and after those moments.
Exactly. And there are so many moments where people are like, well, what happened before this? And what happened here? What happened there? It's like, well, we never covered them in the web series. Whenever we came into the web series, a little further into the story. And now it's like all those missing pieces, all those puzzle pieces are finally going to be put into place.
Now, when you were creating the web series and you were getting these questions, was it intentional not to answer them because you knew that you were going to have something down the line?
I guess as a creator, when you have questions like that, or you create something, you have an idea, right? You have an idea in your head, and it might not be fully fleshed out. It might be just an idea, and it might be like, okay, well, I understand this, but I'm not 100%. Like, I get the direction it's in, but let's see how people react. Let's see what people kind of like, what they enjoy. So what I would do is I would create, and I would just create. I'd let my heart go wild as much as I could. And then I would inspire myself and allow other people to inspire me as well in what directions to take the story in. So this story isn't just my story. It's everyone's story. Everyone has had a piece. Everyone has had a hand in it. Everyone has made this story what it is. So some things, though, I'm going to be honest. There are a lot of things when people have asked me, I have fully just been like, oh, I can't talk about that. And genuinely could not talk about it. Certain things about their favorite characters like Silas and Nadia and Aiden and Alexander and Vadran, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like very, very specific questions that I could not tell them.
Pick up a book.
It's going to be fun.
Use Command Vampire, y'all, if you haven't already. It's going to take you to your link tree. You can grab a copy of the book. You can find all the web series. You can find his music. You can find everything, his poetry. So then why now? Why bring this book into life now rather than maybe stoke the fire a few years? Or I don't know. What made you decide I'm going to start writing now?
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. There's actually two reasons. One, my incredible partner who Shane Leighton Townson.
Shout out to Shane.
Shout out to Shane. She's incredible. She is the reason, or one of the main reasons, this book exists. She knew my story. She saw my storytelling, a lot of the things that I had done that other people have never even seen, that I hid behind closed doors. And she said, dude, you're a novelist. You have to be writing. You got to put this story out there. And I was like, no, I'm a poet. I can't do that, et cetera, et cetera. And she was like, no, you can do this. You can do this. And she was like, just sit down and just see what comes out. And I sat down. I looked at my screen and I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, where do we start? And as I started writing, all the pieces started falling into place. And I was like, oh, wait a second. This is a natural place to begin. Okay. But then the number two reason, we were getting too far in the web series. The web series that everybody keeps saying to me, they're like, when are we going back to the web series? When are we getting back to it? And I'm like, we'll get back to it. We're getting really far into the story now with the web series. And I'm like, I need to start writing immediately or else we're going to hit some really gigantic spoilers that I would much rather have for the book.
Yeah.
Because
you're continuing to make the web series now.
Yeah, I'm off and on as much as I can. Things are a little bit crazy as you know, and I'm still making content. I'm still making a lot of video content. However, with the web series, it is so involved at times where I would have people, they'd be like, oh, I want this duet, and I want this, and I want this character, and da-da-da-da-da. But what people didn't realize was that when it came to the web series, it would be that I would be, and makeup would take me about like 30 to 40 minutes in like some makeup. But then some of these more involved videos would take me 4 hours. 4 hours to put together.
It takes you 30 seconds to watch it on your screen, but there is production value.
Exactly. And it's as much as I want to continue it and do it to the level that I used to, there's just no time. It's just it would be impossible to do that way
Mhm.
again. Eventually though, I will absolutely go back to the web series 100%. However, I want to stagger because I used to do religiously the web series to the point where it was like every single day, 3 to 4 videos, 6 videos sometimes a day. So now
Which that's probably like 12 hours of work, let
it
alone
could
the editing.
be. It could be some of the videos, like there was the finale that I did for I think it was season 2, where it was Nadia, Aiden, and Jack having like their big standoff, their big moment together, right? That video took me 3 days. Wait, no, it took me 2 days, not including editing. So it was, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun. It really is. And I'll say this real quick. I do want to say one thing to
Please.
anybody out there who is an author, creator. If you have a story in your mind, the best thing you can do is step into the role of your characters. You will understand them so much, and people will also understand them. So consider it.
You hear that? Those watching back or listening live, anybody that's somehow still on the fence about leaning fully into your passion and showing who you are authentically 100%, here's your fucking sign. Stop it. Stop it.
Do it.
Okay, so another deep question.
Let's go.
Because of our conversations and what I know about you, the Vampire Jack Townsen is a little fantasy, a little reality. So how much of your true story is woven into this novel and future parts of the series?
So yeah, I like to say that it is a twisted take on a true story. So it's really interesting because there are pieces in there that are kind of like tangled, kind of darker, a little or more embellished things that have actually happened to me in real life. Their names may not be the same, and the subject matter, or not really subject matter, but maybe like where certain things go, might not be the same.
Sure.
But a lot of the themes and a lot of the emotions and the feelings are definitely very close to my real life experience. For example, one of the most interesting things that ever happened to me, I think, outside of everything, was that I go, like I said, I go to therapy. I have a therapist. And when I first started the web series, I showed my therapist some of my web series. And he goes, Jack, you do know that these characters are just pieces of you. And you are literally acting them out and almost therapizing yourself doing this. And I was like, no. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, that sounds healthy. He was like, actually, yes. And
wow, surprise! I have things figured out. Yeah,
super interesting. So a lot of the characters are just pieces of me, honestly, that are just all kind of working things out. It's pretty interesting.
And that's one thing. Like as an actor, like I always step into a role, and they always say like, it's acting is acting under the circumstances. Like acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And so it's almost like if those circumstances happen to you, then that would shift who you are. And so it's kind of going backwards. It's like, if I were living in these circumstances, what would I do?
Yeah.
But when you are creating the entire series and writing the book, all of those characters are like pulled from different pieces of your soul.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So it's kind of autobiographical.
There are definitely pieces in there that are a little too autobiographical, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's wild. It really is. Obviously, there are more higher fantasy elements that are definitely have not happened in real life. I don't want people to think that, by the way. I cannot conjure fire with my hands. Can't do anything like that.
Lies. I know you're lying.
Well, but but it is yeah, there are a lot of pieces that harken to real life. A lot of the characters have pieces of me as well, and there are situations, very hard, very deep, and very difficult situations that I have actually gone through in real life, that some things are very similar to in the book. Not exactly.
How was that putting those onto paper, like emotionally and mentally for you?
Honest.
Yeah.
What's the word? Cathartic. Healing. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, especially putting that out there for people to see, and seeing their reactions and being able to feel like the characters' moments of pain in ways that I've gone through those pains as well. Was it something that made me feel like, so honest to God, healed, like really has healed me and has helped me move forward in a very large way. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience, and yeah,
So 10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes,
Write your shit down, people.
do it. You have to.
Work through it.
You
And then
definitely-
not only the fact that you put this on paper and bare your entire soul, but then that soul that you gave shot to the best sellers list immediately in a single day on Kobo, on Barnes and Noble, became like the best new series on Amazon. What the actual fuck, dude?
I don't know. I did not expect it. I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. And then when I saw that, I was like, wait, what? And Shane's like, yeah, they sold out on Amazon. Like, they broke Amazon. Like, Amazon's broken right now. And I was
How do you break Amazon?
like, what? Like, what are you talking about? They broke Amazon. Amazon's broken right now. It's like, yep, absolutely. People have to go through other sellers because Amazon right now cannot handle the load. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I did not. No, I was completely shell shocked. Like, I didn't cry, I didn't laugh, I didn't anything. I was just like, there would be moments of complete stillness and being like, and then a minute later, I'd be like, oh my God. So it was a wild experience. I still cannot wrap my head around it. And I'm just so freaking appreciative. It is the coolest freaking journey in the entire world.
And again, shout out to the Fang fam.
Yes.
Yeah. Like everywhere you go, you break shit. In the
Those
best
are
way.
Those are my people.
Your people are like bulls in a china shop.
Good.
If
Yes.
those bulls were giving hugs and the china was people's insecurities.
Yeah. that's the entire thing. Dude.
Yeah, that's such a huge testament to you, because like you give out energy and that energy follows you. And so because of the fact that you are surrounded by a tidal wave of love and appreciation, just shows the level of energy that you are putting out every single fucking day. Own that.
So cool.
It's so cool.
I am so lucky. Yes. Fang fam, my community, you guys, you don't know. You do know. You changed my life. Like, thank you. I'm getting emotional. Okay.
Get the tissue. Don't worry. We're all going to be crying by the end of the stream, I think. So other than writing from what you actually knew, was there any other outside influence that you drew in? Any other stories or writers that you admired that brought into yours?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I have been a vampire media junkie since I was so young.
Yeah.
So young. Yes, absolutely. I have found inspiration from so many different things. I'll just throw out a bunch of names. Like, honestly,
Hit me.
World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade, Dungeons and Dragons, The Witcher, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Interview with the Vampire and the End Race, Vampire Chronicles, God, Legacy of Kain. Legacy of Kain was a huge one. I don't know if you know Legacy of Kain, but the Soul Reaver
Familiar.
series, Soul Reaver
Okay,
video
that
game
sounds more
series
familiar.
is
Yeah.
was a huge inspiration to me. Gaming and movies and literature shaped so much of this story. Hellsing, the anime, that was a lot of
Yeah.
vampire anime, Vampire Hunter D, like Castlevania. Yes, all of these have really shaped what this story has become to really allow me to go, okay, well, what am I going to bring to the table now? We have these juggernauts, these amazing stories, and these amazing tales. What am I bringing to the table to be able to be there in the arena or just near them, waving, like? And I'm really excited to show everybody where this journey leads.
So what do you feel like you're bringing to the table? Because it's one thing to take all these influences and be gaming and be just soaking in that media and kind of siphoning it into your writing. But what do you feel would be the thing that Bram Stoker would say, wow, that's really cool. I didn't think of that.
You know what? I would say a large amount of relatability. That's because at the end of the day, it's a human story, and it doesn't take place back in the day. It doesn't take place, thousands or hundreds of years ago. It takes place in 2012. Like, very recent. Everyone is modern. Everybody is here. That relatability, and it is a coming of age story. There aren't very many vampire stories that are coming of age tales of rising through trauma and becoming a person while becoming a monster. Like, that's not really a thing. That usually that's not how this goes. Usually the way it goes is I'm a monster and I'm broken and I'm looking for love, instead of it being like I'm a person and I fail and I make mistakes, but I need to figure out how to become better. That isn't usually it's not how it's done. Usually there's a focus on romance or horror or one or the other, right? This is just, you're living in a world. This is just a big fucking world, and you were following the Vampire Jack Townsen through his life and the things that he's done.
Human story.
It's a human story. Super important to keep it relatable and as human as possible, even when you were talking about monsters.
And I think that's why people are so drawn to you and the web series and your music and your poetry and this book, because there's always, like, at the core of it, a human center.
Exactly.
And that's what we are all looking for, whether it's metaphorical monsters or some of you in the chat, actual monsters. Thanks for being here.
Exactly. I think the character of Jack is so relatable, and so many of the characters are so relatable because we see ourselves in them, because in so many ways they kind of are us. They've gone through very similar things and are changed and are transformed from their situations and the scenarios that they have either thrown themselves into or have been thrusted into. And it was always really important to make sure that that element was the top element, that you can be Jack, that I'm Jack, that we're all Jack. We all have struggled. Who hasn't been fired from their job? Who hasn't had some kind of failure or flop, or who hasn't looked at themselves and been like, I don't even recognize myself anymore because of certain things that you've gone through? Who hasn't had those moments? And that's why we're all him, honestly.
How do you keep that in the forefront of your mind in your writing process?
Oh my God.
Like, because there's so much detail. Like, I would think it'd be easy to get lost in the trees.
It's been 5 years. 5 years of having Jack in my head. 5 years of having this story in this world and these situations. It's like I've lived it. It's like I have lived this. And so many, like I said before, so many of these things I have kind of lived. So it was just about putting it down on paper. I was already there. It was already in my mind. I had the whole series. I have the whole series right now here. From beginning.
You have books 8 through 12
done.
Or
I'm
2
not even
through
finished.
12 already?
I sat with Shane. We were on a plane. We were on a plane ride, and I was like, "Let me pitch you the end of our series." I was like, "I'll pitch you yours too," and she cried. She was hysterical, crying. I have the entire story, as well as the side pieces and the side stories and the lore. Like, there's deep lore actually to the Vampire Jack Townsen, as well as like cosmology. I think it's the correct word.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to like the creation of the universe. Like, it's a massive story. So it's just about sitting down and writing it, putting it down.
And again, that comes back to the fact that you don't have to force any of this to be human driven and love driven and transformatively driven.
Yeah.
Your story is, and you're just putting it on paper, and it is what it's always meant to do.
Exactly.
It's so fucking authentic. You're so genuine. That's what I like about you.
There's only one way to be. You have to just be yourself, and people will either fuck with you or they won't. And that's just life. That's what you learn.
You know, you say there's only one way to be, but clearly there's not.
Yeah.
There's one way that I wish all of us could be.
Yeah.
But we are drawn to those most authentic and most genuine because you are the minority.
And that's sad.
It's sad, but that's the reality. Like, those days that all of us in the chat are feeling really strong and we're like, yeah, I said what I meant today for those 30 seconds. And now I'm going to go back to filtering and
that's
being
normal
lesser
too.
versions of ourselves. I know it's normal, but
that's also part of the process, right? Of authenticity is I'll say this right now. Everybody in chat, Boser included, guys, I have my days where I struggle. I have my days where I'm scared to be on a stream, where I'm scared to be on a podcast. I have my days where I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What's the plan? Oh my God, is this gonna work? Am I fooling myself? I have plenty of those moments, because that is what it's called being a person and having the human experience, no matter what your soul is, having a human experience. But you still find a way to live authentically and just be you. It isn't about just doing it, right? I mean, kind of, but it's also understanding you are going to have your moments where you trip and fall like James Donovan. You have your moments where you fall flat on your face and you're like, fuck, how do I pick myself up? But also accepting that there's also going to be days where you're Jack, where you are strong, where you are blessed with the dark gift. It's both ways. Not one.
I'm hearing, what I'm picking up from that is, like, I guess we're opposite. With what you do and I don't do is, whenever I'm not fully authentic, I beat myself up on it. And I'm like, you did it wrong. Like, that's not correct. And what I'm hearing, that you still have those moments, but you love those moments in, and you say, well, it's still part of it, and you're allowed that, and give yourself some motherfucking grace.
Self-love. That's self-love. That's
God
self-love.
damn it.
That's even
Got me again.
Even having those moments of where you're just like, oh fuck, I'm flat on my face on the floor. Like, it's still self-love to go and be like, you know what? I fucked up. I had a moment of weakness. I had this, whatever it may be. It is self-love to be able to look at yourself and go, you know what? Yeah, you own that shit and you move forward. And that is also being authentic.
Okay, can I be real with you then?
Let's go.
Because my issue that in the past, I've given myself way too much grace, and I don't know if there is such a thing, way too much self-love, where I then, like, degenerated to a lesser version of myself because I, like, well, nobody's perfect. And so now I feel like, in order to stay at the level of authenticity and, like, the best version of myself that I can, if I fall below that, I have to beat myself up. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll get too comfy, and then that's just where I'll live. How
But-
do I fix this?
Yeah. So here's my personal opinion on that. So I love the word you used because Jack's people in Draconia, his crew, his people, his kingdom, he calls them and he dubs this himself the degenerates. The degeneration. They are the degenerates because it is the idea that you are flawed. You are not perfect. It doesn't matter where you come from. Nobody is going to be perfect. You're going to fall more times than you stand up, right?
Right.
But you have to allow yourself to be imperfect. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of respect. You are still worthy of grace, even if you are a degenerate. And on your end, I would say this: breathe. Breathe and know that if you fall down that as long as you have, in my opinion, as long as you are going to pick yourself back up, whenever that is, you're still picking yourself back up. You're still going to be okay. Like it's going to be okay. Just don't don't beat yourself up.
Yeah. No, I'm now getting to the point that I know that if I fall into a place of, it's more like comfort.
Yeah.
It's not even the moments that I fall flat on my face and my life is spiraling. It's the moments where like things are okay. It's a complacency.
Okay.
But now I'm starting to get to the point that I know that after the complacency, I will wake up and I will pull myself back up to where I want to be. But I wasn't that way for a very long time because honestly, like yourself, I didn't know who I could become. I capped myself. I ceilinged myself and I thought, well, great. This is who I am. This is where I'll be. I didn't know there was anything beyond that. Mm-hmm. But now that I do, it's easier to give the engine a break for a minute, knowing that it's going to kick in next.
Well, I relate 100% to that, especially on this journey. Like I used to be a super avid gamer. And then over the last 2 years, I very much struggled to take a break. I very much struggled to kind of like allow myself to kind of like breathe because I was so scared it was going to lose everything. I was so scared that this was all going to fall apart. I was going to be alone again. Yeah. And then over time, I've allowed myself to play a video game here or there. I've allowed myself to kind of like start playing World of Warcraft again. I've allowed myself to start kind of doing things outside that are hobbies that I love. And there are plenty of times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm playing way too much. Oh my God, do I quit outright? Oh my God, I need to beat myself up. But it's all about balance. Everything is about balance and keeping that in the forefront of your mind. I can have this, but I also need to be aware. Like you have a level of awareness and you always allow yourself to be vigilant. Because I think that's what's most important. It's not about cutting these things out completely, unless you have a problem or something like that, or some things.
Sure,
like
there's plenty of things that we should probably cut out.
Probably should cut out now. And if you need help, then don't be afraid to get help. But when it comes to something like this, allowing balance and kind of allowing yourself to kind of like sink into complacency a little bit sometimes, and then make sure you can pull yourself up and just kind of be like, okay, I did it. I had my day, I had my 2 days, I had my weekend. All right, back on my feet. I got to get this done. And I think one of the biggest things for me is having a support system. That is the most important thing. Having people around you that you are vulnerable and you are transparent with. Because if you tell the people around you like, hey, I fucking struggle with this. I struggle with this. I need work on, and I could really use some help. People are usually going to rally around you and be like, we got you. And then from then on, you're not going to fumble or you're not going to struggle as much. Because I will tell you, just like in my chat, just like in the chat, I have already seen people screaming, we yell at him to take breaks. We yell at him.
It's been a theme the entire night, actually.
I know. So there will be days where I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do an audiobook chapter and I'm going to do a song and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'll add everyone on Discord. And by the way, we have a Discord. And what will happen is in unison, my own community, my own fandom and friends will be like, Jack, take the day off. And I'll be like, but I want to do this. And be like, no. Take the day off. You earned a day off. Take the day off. I'm like, oh, okay, you're right. And then sometimes I'll just do it anyway. But it's important.
And you don't add everyone in Discord next time?
Yeah. No, I do. I still do. I do it, and then I'm like, guys, by the way, I made this, and then I'm done. But having a support system, having a council or a vampiric council of your own is extremely important, honestly. People that can keep you in check.
And yeah, no, that's a very great point. Like you were mentioning that, and I think of my wife. Like, she loves to work out, and I like to work out, not as much as she does. And I'm starting to get into it, and it's been so encouraging. Like, as I'm getting back on the horse of working out, that when I take that day off that I probably don't need, but I wake up and I'm not really feeling it, that she doesn't tell me I'm a piece of shit. She's like, that's all right, you'll go tomorrow. Like, you have people in your life that know that breaks are okay.
Exactly. That's great. Oh, that's great. I love that. Oh, I'm obsessed with that. Exactly. Exactly.
You're double date in our future?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm not even joking. Let's do this. Like 100%.
I know. For real.
But it's exactly like that. It when you have people around you that care about you, they will not hesitate. And if you're transparent with them and make sure that you are vulnerable and you put those walls down, as hard as it may be, you will be surprised when you're like, oh, I'm fumbling on this day, or oh, I'm like this, and they're gonna be like, stop it, take a break. Then yeah,
don't play your games.
Don't do it. We know you. We know you. We know you so well. So yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. Honestly, is have a support system, have a council. Yeah,
but that takes vulnerability, and it takes using this thing on the bottom half of your face, which flaps and vibrates and makes sound. Tell people.
Yeah. You know, I think that's probably one of the hardest things, hands down, is allowing yourself to feel vulnerable and feel transparent to allow other people in. And I think if most people realize that once you do it, you're going to be surprised at how many people rally around you. I think more people would be authentic. More people would be honest about who they are, and allow people to help them. I think it's important.
From someone with the point of view of keeping your authentic self hidden in the shadows for so many years, like all of us, what do you think are the main factors that keep us keeping ourselves in the shadows?
Fear. Oh,
of what?
Fear of the unknown, of the what ifs. Everything comes down to the what ifs. Everything comes down to, okay, well, what if I do this and this happens? What if I do this and this happens? What if I put down my walls and they don't accept me? What if I'm made fun of? What if I'm yelled at? What if I am called a loser, a weirdo, a fucking freak? It is all comes down to fear of the unknown, fear of persecution, and the what ifs. And that is what keeps us. But once you realize, and I'm getting passionate as shit, but once you realize that most people do not give a fuck, you could walk out into your grocery store and fucking breakdance, and you think people are going to stand there and laugh at you? No, they're going to go buy their groceries and they're going to leave. That's how people actually are. But we have this idea, this ingrained thing, especially because of, and I'm going to be honest, let's go deep, because of childhood, because of the way people were in high school or elementary school, that we believe that the world is like that. But it's not. It really isn't. Everybody has had some form of growing. And if some person is that way, it isn't the majority. Those people are actually the smallest voices. The loudest voices are the people that are going to be there to encourage you and build you up. So that fear, it's just fear. It's just a voice. It's just a voice. It's just a in your ear. And once you realize that that's just something you can go away, get out of here. I'm just going to do this anyway. And you allow yourself to see that it's not so scary. But if it does end up being scary, by the way, also knowing that that's not the grand consensus. For a great example, okay. Oh, I love this. for a great example, do you have any idea how many videos I get destroyed on? Oh my God. How many videos that I post that I in the moment was like, okay, this is a good video. I'll put this out there, or it'll be like something where it's like a trending sound. And I'll be like, okay, well, this is really good. This will get out there, right? And I'll be like, okay, let me go and I'll do this in my socks and I'll make sure that I have content for the evening. And it's a good video, but like it's something that I really just need to get out there, right? And then I go and I look at the comments and it's just like, it happens all the time. But also knowing that you're going to be okay through that is it's
a blip
thing. Knowing it's just a blip, knowing that it's just a moment, that's the biggest thing. Yep.
See, even the Vampire Jack Townson gets flamed.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And your level of flamed is probably a drop in the our level of flamed.
Yeah.
Of us normies down here. I'm kidding. But like we get a comment or two and we're like, oh my God, take it down. But
oh my God.
With the level of engagement you're getting, like a comment or two is multiplied to 100, 200 negative comments versus the 800 positive ones.
I had a video, and they'll remember, I had a video where it was just like this metal song. And in the metal song, it was just like a like a kind of like almost like dog bark metal growl.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I used that sound. It was just me. I was in a leather jacket. I had my hair pulled back. I was in my car, and it was just like when you see another vampire on the street. Like it wasn't anything like crazy. It was just like very short, very brief. I didn't even really think about it. Hundreds of comments, hundreds. I can't make it up on IG and on TikTok. And it was just like
say about that?
Ballistic, just ripping me to pieces. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's remembering that stuff like that is not going to rule your life. That happens.
And it should not.
That's not the grand consensus.
Because I think about the fact that you got ripped on that video and the people commenting. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with your day? Like that you had time to say something negative on this video. Like what next positive thing are you about to do with your day?
Exactly.
Nothing that I'm concerned with.
Exactly. Though.
Made your life.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. When you really stop and you think about the people that are commenting troll comments or anything, or in like a live stream and they're saying like negative things or mean things, right? I never really let those people get to me so much. Usually, like it does get me a little bit. Like I'm not gonna sit here.
You're human,
like I do.
Yeah.
But however, at the same time, like I always remind myself that if they're taking the time out of their day to do this, would a normal person would you do that? It's like, well, you would have to be in a pretty crappy place to be going out of your way to do that. So I always meet these people with patience and kind of like a little more of empathy and understanding, because I kind of figure, it's like, ooh, you must be going through something. But yeah, that's what stops people. It's fear. It's just fear of the unknown, fear of persecution. It's all about fear. And the moment that you take ego out of it, right? You take your ego out of it and you're just like, well, I'm going to do this thing anyway. And, it's for me. Start doing things for you, creating or anything else. Do it for you first. Do it because you enjoy it. And, whatever happens, happens. You can make a video. There are days where I just make a video and I don't look at the comments. I just go, it's out there. I had so much fun making this thing. I made it like a little music video or something, and I go, it's there. It's art. It lives. That's what's important.
It's all art. It's all art. In different formats.
Oh, yeah.
I have this, like in my theater career, I've got to teach many acting lessons, especially to kids. And I've done this exercise, which I found is so interesting, because we kind of break down this fear that you're talking about. And it's a microcosm in performance versus your entire life. I said, okay, here's a bunch of pieces of paper. I want you to write down every dark thought that crosses your mind during a rehearsal, before an audition, when you're on stage. What are you thinking about? Like the negative, that little voice, like you said the same thing, that little voice in the back of your head. And it'll be a plethora of things. And over the years, I've collected them. And so then I say, great. So, and we break it down. We're like, what's causing this? What's that really getting down to? And it's always the same words. And so then I'll pull out this stack of past students that I've had from age 5 to 75.
Genius.
And I'm like, let me see if you notice something. And I rattle them off. And it's the same exact fucking things with every single person. And I'm like, if all of these people are feeling this, how much bandwidth do you think they have to even think these things about you? They're like, wow, I guess, yeah, they're not even giving a shit what I do because they're all terrified themselves.
That's genius. That's literally genius.
It's eye-opening every time. I love it. It's my favorite thing.
But that's how it is.
But I still feel it, and I still have to stop and remember that for myself. Like all of us as adults, it gets harder to remember that thing, I think.
Oh my good God. And it's just what it is. Remembering that everybody's usually feeling the way you're feeling,
Terrified.
Terrified, completely scared of life and of the possibilities and the what ifs and the unknowns, and just understanding that other people are feeling those things too. What happens if you decide to just be authentic?
Then somebody else might just decide to be authentic. Kind of like what's happened in the entire Fang fam from the Vampire Jack Townson.
There you go.
No, I really hope. I know that you are doing this in the daily, and I'm sure you get lost in the rigmarole, but I hope that tonight and tomorrow when you wake up, you just take a second. As often I'm sure you do, but take an extra second to realize the effect. Like, I've been watching all the comments. I'm sorry that we haven't had time to reply to every single chat because there are thousands, but so many of them. Jack's changed my life. He's been such an inspiration. Thank you, Jack, for what you've done. You have changed my life. And it's solely because you've chosen to live authentically. That's the effect that somebody can have. And it doesn't take decades. Like, you did this 2 years ago, and it's been this huge snowball. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I consider myself part of that snowball. I'm going to just join the rolling snow. I'm being wrapped in your love, and I'm so glad to be here.
It's honestly, I am just so happy to help at all. And like I say all the time, like, when people say to me, they're like, oh, you've changed my life, you've done this, et cetera, or thank you for saying this, or thank you for this message, right? I say the same thing every single time. At the end of the day, I may be the message, right? I may be the vessel, but I may be the guiding force, but you are the one that is making the choice to let this sink in. You are the one that is making the decision to have my words and my message and what I do and my art mean something and have an impact, and listen to this message and live authentically yourself. So please, all of you guys in the Fang fam, Boser included, all of you guys, I hope you step back. I hope you in those moments take a moment and say, damn, good job. Pat yourself on the back because you fucking deserve it. And I am beyond proud of every single one of you. I am.
You hear that, guys? You hear that? This is becoming like an army of love that I can't wait to see it explode, and you will change the world. Think how many people that you interact with daily, all of you in the chat, like they would say the same thing about you. You changed my life. You saved my life. Because you decided to live authentically. Because Jack decided to live authentically. Because he watched somebody else decide to live authentically.
Exactly.
It's a chain.
It is.
Permission to happy dance in the mirror granted, majestically me.
You may do it. You may. Yes. Absolutely.
You guys, if you haven't already, please pick up Jack's book. If not because you love urban fantasy and vampire stories, then just to keep supporting the great work that he is doing through his stories. This may not be how you think change is happening in the world, but it fucking is. I'm watching it happen right here in this chat. It is happening. And this happens every time. The last 2 times you've been on the show, I've just been agog and aghast at the effect that your pure spirit has and it grows. Like every time these numbers in these videos grow, and I'm just amazed every time. But it's not because it's magic. It's like I see what is happening. I've spoken with you. I genuinely love spending time with you, and we are going to hang out in real life one day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. We're vibing. We gotta hang out. We absolutely.
It's a need. It's a deep need.
It's happening. It's not even like a need. It's like, oh yeah, well this is planned. This is is there a date? No, but it's happening.
But it's planned. It is written.
It's written in the stars.
Can you put that in one of the future series in the novel? The moment that we meet.
Deal. Sure.
Write it before it happens, and then we'll see.
I will 100% probably be very, very inspired to write something about many of our encounters. Trust me. You are Boser. You are my muse now. You are absolutely.
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, I want to be conscious of your time.
Yeah.
But I know that before we started streaming, I talked about that we had a few would you rather questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah? You got a few time for a few?
Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to drop the Command Vampire one more time in the chat so that you guys have access to his links. Of course, I know you already got them. And you're going to go immediately and purchase your own copy of Jack's newest novel as well as his poetry. And did I hear right that novel is becoming an audiobook for all the audio listeners?
Yes, it is. It is going to be an audiobook. It's slated to come out in 2 months. We'll see. I'm almost finished with the initial first draft of it. But it is going to be a cinematic experience. You can hear clips of it on Patreon. You can hear clips of it on, if you're a part of the Discord, we have listening parties and we have things like that as well. And I also play it on my live stream pretty often also. So make sure you check out all the stuff.
And all of these characters are read by you with music and sound effects supporting this immersive experience.
Myself, and some of them are voiced by Shane as well, which Shane is an amazing actress. We have been having so much fun. So yeah, you get to hear us geek out.
Oh my God. I need it.
Oh, it's fun.
I need it in my ear holes. Boser, I have to ask you, remind me of a character of a video game I play often. What is the character? Let me know, Hello Bunny. Okay, so are you ready for some would you rather questions?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Because your book really poses a would you rather question, just like the question of the day. Would you rather go on living your normal life or have the chance at immortality and be enslaved to a vampire? So I thought, you know what? I bet Jack has some fun takes on some other would you rather questions. And some of them, most of them are not too pretty.
Let's go. Absolutely.
So I'll start with some softballs. And chat, feel free to chime in too. Would you rather live forever in night or forever in day?
Forever in night.
Why?
I would say the more interesting, more exciting things happen at night, while you would miss the splendors and the beauty of the sun, which, as a living vampire, which comes up, I don't really get to go out in the sun too often, and when I do, it sucks. I can also say that the more fun things happen at night. You parties, you meet the more interesting people, you have the more interesting experiences. Honestly, night. Plus, forever in day. Oh my God, you would just be like, oh my God, when is this going to stop? When does this turn off? When does this thing go away? I'm sick of it. My God.
Mama always said nothing good happened after midnight, and I would beg to differ.
I agree.
The best fucking things happen after
midnight. Yeah, exactly. So, okay.
Would you rather? Let's see. I had to scope the internet for some like gruesome stuff that I couldn't think of on my own.
Let's go.
Would you rather lose all of your teeth or bite your lip each time you chewed?
Bite my lip each time I chew. Hands down.
Because you're used to it.
I'm already used to it. Yeah, I know. I think that while that would be some pain, you still like teeth are kind of like a big thing. They really are. It's why you should really take care of them. Um, huh. Tooth care plug. But I think it's really, really
Also in your link tree is an affiliate link to an orthodontist.
yeah, right. Imagine people like, haha, you didn't even know that, did you? But I really do think that biting your lip is a small price to pay for keeping your teeth.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I like the teeth. Would you rather be the sole survivor of a zombie apocalypse or be the first to be infected?
Ooh, ooh, no, this is a hard one. Oh,
They get harder as we go.
Okay, I think, you know what, Soul Survivor.
What would you do as that sole survivor?
I'm gonna be completely in the minority. The only reason would be I would know that I wasn't the cause. That would at least be a comfort.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
And I would like to think that if I was a sole survivor, it meant that I tried to help as many people as possible until it got to that point. And then it would just be me, and I would have to take up the time just, waiting and just being. But at least I got to help as many people along the way that I could. Instead of it being that all these people had to suffer, and I couldn't be there to at least try to help as many people as possible. Because otherwise it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, I got the fast way out. I would much rather be the one kind of like, I'm here, and I did everything I could, and I fought the hordes, and I did my best, and, I had to watch everyone fall apart, but at least that is my burden to bear as the last one standing.
Now, I'm with you. I don't want to die. I don't want to go out. I would rather be that last one, knowing I'd try to do everything I could. That's why I love, what is it? That Will Smith movie.
Oh no. It's
help me out.
My tongue.
It's right there. Chats on it. I am Legend. Thank you. Thank you, Vox Raven Bear.
There we go.
And I love that I even wrote this down. I didn't tell you earlier. Habits create reality. Because of something you said earlier, habits create reality. And that he is the definition of that. He created a habit. He made the best of it. He went out and he tried to do his best. I love that movie.
Yeah. And it's they might even do a sequel apparently.
Oh my God, yes, please.
So
can the dog somehow survive?
Oh God, I wish. Spoiler.
Oh, sorry if you haven't seen the movie. It's only been like 15 years.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Would you rather feel a constant weak pain for the rest of your life or random attacks of excruciating pain?
What? These questions? Okay. A random weakness, like a random weakness?
It's so constant weak pain. So like all the time your body kind of hurts, or random bouts of excruciating pain.
Constant weak pain. I would much rather be like with a cane and be like, this is just my life now, than be like, my life is wonderful. Ah! No, I'm good. I'm fine. It's just the people around me like, are you good? And it's just like, it's just a thing that happens. Like, it's nothing, like, it's not, but, it's what I have to go through. Yeah, no.
But you could live like your best life between those bouts.
Nope. Absolutely not. Because that's like excruciating. So that's going to be something that's like no, thank you. I would much rather just be like, yep, this is just what it is.
Because in those moments of excruciating pain, you're like, I want to die. Just kill me now.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all the shits where we're like, yep, this is the end. Just put me out of my misery.
Exactly. If it's just constant weak pain, eventually you're just gonna get used to it, honestly. And it's just like, well, this is just what my life is. And, I can function. It sucks. It's not fun. It's shit. But at least I can do it. Otherwise, it's just like you're just living life and everything's honky dory, and then it's like you're not used to it, and then it hits way worse because you're not used to it.
Right. And do you know how I knew that would be your answer? It's the same reason that I knew Nymph Witch. Most of us over 30 already there, baby.
Already in that 100. Can't walk up the stairs properly? No problem. What's that ache and pain? I have no idea.
That's new. How fun. I woke up today, my neck hurt so bad and my back hurt so bad. And I was like, was I at a rave last night? No. Why am I in pain? What the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, next one. This is from Reddit, so you know it's bad. Would you rather have your eyes glued shut for a day or have them glued open for a day?
Glued shut.
Shut.
You know
Hands
what?
down shut.
Sleep.
Just go to bed.
You just go to bed. Just be like, okay, my eyes are glued shut. Good night.
Can you imagine the dryness?
No.
Oh my god.
No, thank you.
That's
no,
like
no,
the
no,
one
no.
reason I cannot watch Clockwork Orange.
Ugh.
Because I know that scene's in there. I don't know why that scene's in there. I don't want to find out why that scene's in there.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm good. I would much rather just be like, oh, my eyes are glued shut. Well, I guess it's time for me to go to sleep.
Night, night.
I will see you. Like, if it would be different if they were like, oh, you have to stay awake. And they'd be like, oh, like, do I have to do things and, like, operate and like perform? It's like,
You know
that's
what?
different.
Challenge accepted.
Fair.
I'm going to daredevil this shit. I'm going to make coffee. I'm going to make breakfast. I'm going to see what I can accomplish today. Watch me, bitch.
You park crookedly in a spot by Starbucks or something. Someone's like, what's going on? And you just walk out, your eyes are glued shut, and you're just like, can't. I'm sorry. My
Give me
eyes
a
are glued
ticket.
shut today.
It's like, but you drove here.
You drove. It's like, don't worry about it. But don't do that.
Don't.
Don't do
not.
that.
Thank you.
Safety.
Safety first. Glue your
Mhm.
eyes wide open and then drive.
Exactly. This has been a message from Vampire Jack and Boser.
Would you rather wake up? Are you a fan of the Saw movies?
Yeah.
Have you seen any of them?
Yes.
Okay. So would you rather wake up in the reverse bear trap where it's on your head and it's going to pry
Yeah,
your head
yeah.
open, or the needle pit where you're just like swimming in syringes?
The bear trap.
What?
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Should I explain it?
Yes.
Okay, well, the speed of the bear trap is like 1, 2, 3, boom, right? And then all you have to really worry about is like, time. Not to be gross to everybody, but the other way is you're swimming through. That's just constant. That's agony. The other one, it's over quickly. He's not going to let you go either way.
But in the syringes, there's the law of displacency. So if you lie flat, you're not going to get stabbed at all. And maybe there's one or two, and you just like rearrange your body weight, and then you take a nap.
Well, but you don't know what's in the syringes, and you don't know where they've
That's
been,
true.
and you don't know. There's so many different things that could be at play. Are they rusty? There's so many different things. Otherwise, it's like, is this a scenario where you survive, or are you just like, is he letting you go?
Well, like
Because-
in all the Saw movies, you have a chance to survive if you usually maim yourself.
If you're crafty,
Yeah.
if you're a crafty one, then I guess the question is, if it's the bear trap, then it would be like, okay, well, then I'll just do what he wants me to do to get out of that. Because if I'm swimming in needles, like, and then I have to live my life with swimming in needles. And then it's like, oh, well, you might have this, and you might have this now, you might have that. It's like, oh, well, this is long lasting on top of the maiming. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm always freaked out by the fact that one little ounce of air in your bloodstream will kill you.
Yeah.
And so any little syringe that
that-
goes in the wrong artery, you're dead.
Like the thing with the like bear trap is like it's fast. And then it's like,
Would it though? If it's in your jaw and it
Well, think
rips
about-
that open,
well, think about, well, if
are you
think
dead
about-
right away?
Well, you have to think about it. It's not right away, but it would be pretty fast. And because
It
like
probably would.
it would be like what the, and then it'd just be like 10.
Because that would sever some cortex back here, right?
And there could be, and actually that's another thing. It would also possibly paralyze you,
So you don't feel it.
so you wouldn't probably. It's possible you wouldn't even feel it though. You know, there's a chance.
Good point.
So
Good point.
yeah.
Hey, if you're liking this talk, pick up Jack's book. Okay, here's the last few vampire related questions.
Let's go.
Would you rather have the need for blood to sustain your life, or give blood to sustain the life of your love?
Ooh, that's difficult. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna get deep.
Hit me.
I guess, you know, it's hard when it's like you're you know, to sustain your own life through taking in blood. That's it. That's a toughie. That is tough by itself. But on the other hand, you're giving, right? You're being the giver. You're being the one helping them and building them up and keeping them, you know, satiated and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would much rather that. To give
Yeah,
it.
you and the whole chat right now. Give.
Yeah, give. Yeah, the other way. Yeah.
Because at least you know, like, it could be mine. It could be like Little Shop of Horrors situation. Like, I just have to. I'm a little anemic, and that's fine. But for you, for the love of my life, I'd do it
Yeah.
if it could keep her strong. Sure.
Exactly. 100%.
Wow,
Giving.
all the love in the chat, just about giving of yourself, your lifeblood for your loved one to live. That's
We're the
beautiful.
best. We have the best people. That should just that says everything right there.
So then on the love train,
Ooh.
here's maybe one of the toughest ones I think I wrote down. Would you rather be separated from your love, knowing they hate you, or lose your love knowing that they loved you?
Ooh. Is this like true love situation? Like it's like your true love, you know it
Your
for a
true
fact,
love.
and they hate you.
Like, yes, you have nothing but love. It's the truest love you've ever felt. You're separated and they despise you, or they are no more, but at least you knew at the end they loved you.
Oof. I would say I would much rather. You know what? I'm sorry, but for those out there that know, you know. If you know, you know. Wink wonk. Can't say anything but wink wonk. I would say, honestly, I would much rather they hate me. I would much rather they hate me, and I know that they're out there living their life and that they're happy. They will find someone to replace me. They will find someone to keep them warm and safe. And while I know that they hate me, I still know they're alive. And I still know they are living their life and doing what they are meant to do. And it would be torture and it would suck. But that is at least the sacrifice that I would be willing to give.
That is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I'm like, I don't even know how I would answer this one. That's hard. But
You
like,
watch them happy, but at least they're not dead. Like it's,
I know.
you know,
Like knowing that was the choice I had to make, I guess if I was recognized, because oftentimes we don't get that choice. Either it's one or the other.
yeah, exactly.
But if I knew I had the choice, I guess I would choose hate me,
Yeah.
but live your life.
Hate me, but live your life. I will.
Tear me
It's like that love will always be there, and I will know that I love you. And while you may despise me, hate me, whatever it is, I will at least know that you are okay, that you are safe, because my love for you was that strong. It was
Yeah.
that deep.
And like
And,
Jack Townsen fan said, and you love them even if they hate you.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think that's a good one to end on.
I agree.
On a weird love, hate, death situation.
I think that's a very good one to end on. I agree.
And on that note, pick up Jack's book.
You should definitely pick up my book and check it out, and you should read it, and you should join the community, and you should read it.
Read it.
Get it, please.
Jack, this was nothing less than I expected, which was an amazing time. We got deep.
Yeah, we did.
And I knew coming into this that you were open to that. Like I love having guests on that I like and know, because it's so easy to craft my questions. A lot of times other guests, first time on, you don't know what they're comfortable with. I don't want to like push any boundaries. But I still want to get to know them at a real level. But I knew with you were an open book. You wear your heart on your sleeve and you spread your ribs out for the world to see.
Yup. I do it 100%. Yes. No, you can. I have so much fun doing this, writing a book like this, where it is very, very dark and very, very, very intense. Yeah. I'm an open book. This is so much fun. I love this. Are you kidding?
And your community gets that because constantly you're live on TikTok, and they can ask questions and you were just there to hang and talk. And so please, if you guys are just tuning in, you're getting to the end of the stream and you haven't yet checked out his content, check him out on TikTok, check out his book, check out his music, check out his web series, check out his poetry. What else? Hey, how is, shit, I wrote it down. How is New Blood going?
New Blood is going great. Everyone is working really hard. Everything is looking amazing. And that's where we are at the moment. And make sure you are following New Blood and checking them out. They are incredible. So yes.
We talked about New Blood on our last Geek Out Sesh with Jack Townsen. So if you don't know that, you can go find it either on YouTube or on podcast. And we had the amazing Fen and Balanche, Madame Balanche.
And Belanger as well, yes.
And all the amazing things that they are doing for the paranormal communities and the spiritual vampire communities. And if you haven't found a place where your story is being told, check out New Blood and Inhumans, right? That's the other one?
Not Inhumans as well, yes.
Yes. Check it out, especially New Blood, because Jack has some cameos, some leading parts,
There's some pieces. So just definitely check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stick around for. Ooh, sorry, Alec. I'm changing the raid because someone's playing Vampire Masquerade right now, and that is just exactly where we need to go. Thank you, O'Shine. Daryl sucks at gaming. Stick around, y'all. We're headed this raid to Daryl sucks at gaming.
Raid.
Oh, I said it wrong.
Must raid Vampire the Masquerade. Scream. Do it. Scream. Yeah.
This is why I need mods that do this better than I do. Okay, here we go. But we do this each and every week. Please come back. Check out our next guest next Monday and all future Mondays, because I'm just in it to make friends, and I've made some amazing friends through this, and I count myself very lucky to count Jack Townsen as one of them.
Boser, I'm very glad that you're my friend as well, and thank you very much for having me back on the stream. I love coming here. You're an amazing host. You're absolutely incredible, and this is great. The community, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for showing up every single time you do it, supporting everything. I love you more than you could ever even imagine. So thank you guys, and thank you both.
But as always, I am Boser.
I am the Vampire Jack Townsen.
And you just keep geeking out. Bye-bye.